Hey guys, Cookie here with another Helldivers 2 update. Things are looking bleak with the current major order. Arrowhead CEO has been giving out big pieces of information in the last 24 hours, and I'm here to tell you about it all. But first, it's time for a brand new Warbond. That new Warbond is Polar Patriots, and it is now available for purchase with 1,000 super credits. And now that it is purchasable, there's some stuff in it that we can actually fully preview for the first time. We discussed in the video going over the trailer for this Warbond, saying that it wasn't clear if the Helldiver animations that were coming were emotes or victory poses or both. Well, just like the other Warbonds since the original, they are just victory poses, which I must admit is kind of unfortunate. Emotes are so cool and also desperately needed, so we'll just have to wait for now. I do like the victory poses though, like mime instrumentation to show off your democratic musical ability. There's Call the Helldivers, which looks more like a Helldiver trying to get a fellow freedom fighter's digits, but either way, there's that too. And in the last victory pose, you can make it rain with distribute ballots. I like them all, but I don't see why they are only victory poses. If these were also emotes, it would be so much cooler to do these kind of things on the battlefield. Outside of that, the Warbond is basically what was promised in the trailer, and 300 super credits as always will also be included. Later on today, Swanee should have a video going through all the weapons and the grenades, the pistol, and how to use them and how good that they are. That entire analytics style video will be available for you later on today. Next up, let's talk about the major order. The major order is not progressing nicely for the Helldivers. Angel's Venture was recently liberated, but with under 24 hours to go, we are not on pace to make it in time. The weekend won't be able to help us either, as this will finish before then. Veld right now sits at less than halfway liberated, and Akamar has yet to see any progress really. I guess with all the chaos of this past week, the fight hasn't been quite satisfactory enough for this major order. As I said before, I do believe failing this major order could be catastrophic for Super Earth, because I believe this might be our last chance to stop the spread of the termicide before it's on Super Earth's doorstep. This of course might not be entirely a bad thing, because it would be super fun to play on Super Earth. So a sick, undemocratic part of me really hopes this kind of happens. There is still time though. If a significant enough push comes from the player base, we could still finish the major order and capture the 40 medals that comes with its completion. The new personal order for the day is to defeat 35 warriors. If you're unsure of what that is, this picture should help you find them. Warriors are everywhere, all the time on Terminated planets, so this shouldn't take you long to complete at all. Almost any gun works on these suckers. There's also an exciting new update to the Superstore, because there are two brand new armors that can be purchased with super credits. The first is the medium armor of the CW9 White Wolf. This armor looks a little like heavy armor, and in a way it kind of is heavy armor because its perk is having a heavy armor rating. As for the look, I'm not crazy about the color, but the design I really like a lot. The other armor is the CE64 Grenadier, and I am a big fan of this armor. This might be the coolest looking heavy armor I've seen. I love the stripes and markings on the armor and helmet, which gives it a bit of a jungle hunter feel, and the color scheme works a little bit better here. Its perk goes along with its name, Grenadier, as you can hold more grenades in this armor. The CEO of Arrowhead, Patriots, has been very active in the last 24 hours, posting all kinds of responses to questions and comments on both Twitter and Discord. The Discord activity is particularly rare since he hasn't posted on there in nearly 3 months. Apparently he was so inactive on Discord he did not even have permission to post in the player polls section on the page. However, he did post a major poll on Twitter instead. So the poll said, to all the Helldivers 2 out there with the negative sentiment around account linking, a concern from the team came up: is it tone deaf to release a new paid Warbond this soon? And therefore we are putting it to a real vote in true democratic fashion. So please guide us. Would you rather have the new Warbond Polar Patriots released tomorrow or delay the release? And as you can see, release tomorrow was victorious, and that is why Polar Patriots is currently available for purchase. This is very odd behavior for a company from my point of view, but I don't say that in a negative way. This feels unplanned and unexpected, but I kinda love that. With all the craziness of the past week, it feels like Patriots legitimately wanted to know what the community wanted amidst all the anger of the last patch and the most recent Eruptor nerf, and of course as well as the Sony drama of last weekend. I think this Reddit post lays it out best, how unique this approach is in today's modern gaming landscape. It says, I think companies need to adapt to the Helldivers formula. Dude is concerned, will be offended over a $10 $10 pass that provides more in-game content than $30 does for most other games. You can also just grind for credits and get it free altogether. Really wholesome. I do believe that had the poll shown differently, they would have postponed, although it's unclear how long they would have delayed it for. I personally voted for it to come out tomorrow because I didn't think it affected anything at this point. The Warbond's done and ready to come out anyway, so we might as well get the new content, and I don't think it's tone deaf or anything. Plus, just because you can pay real money like the post says doesn't mean you have to. As long as you're an avid player of the game, 1,000 super credits isn't too hard to get. But either way though, the poll is still a pretty neat touch. There are a lot of interesting responses Pilestead has had recently, but this is probably the one that has garnered the most attention. Someone on Twitter said, Helldivers has just become unfun for me and a lot of my friends. I've put insane hours. I don't know what to say. These past months of balancing changes has made the game basically unplayable for me. Sad to see balance changes come over the priority of fun. Pilestead responded saying, hey, yeah, I think we've gone too far in some areas. We'll talk to the team about the approach to balance. It feels like every time someone finds something fun, the fun is removed. This is a pretty major statement coming from the CEO of the company that he agrees with fans that have been upset about the balancing updates in this game. Saying every time someone finds something fun, the fun is removed is a pretty big statement. I think what he's getting at with this is a little more specific in the next Twitter response. Here a user is talking about how Helldivers 2 should never be a spreadsheet, which essentially means that balancing updates shouldn't just go by the numbers of this gun has a lot of players, so it should be nerfed. The CEO agrees with this sentiment, saying he too hates spreadsheet design. So essentially this idea that guns should be nerfed if people use them a lot may be going away. I would think the way the CEO is talking, it makes it seem like instead of nerfing weapons that people like, maybe we'll see more buffs of guns people don't like. This is an idea that has been brought up repeatedly on the Reddit as a criticism of balancing patches in this game, and from these responses it seems like Pilestead agrees. This tweet response is also in the same vein. Someone on Twitter said, let me vent please, every single weapon since release, and I mean every single one, got a major nerf that made the weapon almost not fun, and when I jumped onto another weapon, it also got nerfed. I swear fun is illegal or I'm picking the most OP stuff in this game by chance. Pilestead just agreed, saying, yeah, that's not a great feeling. We'll see what effects this has when the next balancing patch comes out, but it's definitely nice to see that our thoughts are seemingly being heard. As I mentioned, Pilestead was also very active on Discord. I will run through a couple of the most interesting things that he said. Someone asked if there was any news about the 177 countries delisted issue with Steam, and Pilestead said, sorry, no, I'm speaking to our partners at PlayStation and Valve and pushing for it to be undone. Getting the account linking took a Herculean effort, but I won't rest in my desire to have it available everywhere. This is both encouraging and depressing. Nice to see the CEO isn't ignoring the situation and he wants to get it fixed, but there also hasn't been any progress to report, which is disheartening and frankly taking way longer than I thought it would to get resolved. Someone asked if there was still any discussion going on about the armor shaders. Pilestead didn't say much but did say yes, but I can't talk too much about it yet. I really hope this becomes a thing to some degree, so just the fact that they are talking about this is great news for me. Someone asked Pilestead if there were any plans on adding traits to capes and helmets. He responded saying, not to capes, but I know there's a conversation on helmets. Originally each helmet was going to have a unique HUD, so medics would be able to see health, recon would get enemy outlines, etc., but we unfortunately had to cut it due to, well, having to ship the game. This is a really interesting idea. Having specific HUDs for specific helmets would be really badass. It doesn't sound to me like something we would have anytime soon. This would seem like a major adjustment, and I don't see that being something they can do right now, but maybe in the future since they clearly had interest in it to start. The last of the Discord responses I want to bring up is this one. Someone asked if there were talks of upping the medals and sample limits. He said we don't want to up the limits because new systems will inevitably use them, and if you have too much of a head start with new progression, it will take the fun out of it, if you see what I mean. This clearly states that there will be new things to spend medals and samples on in the future. I don't know if this means more of the same, like new additions to the ship and new Warbonds, or if there will be totally new things we can spend those credits on. That, like many other things, we will just have to wait and see. Overall, I agree with the CEO though. It would ruin the fun for the player if they can just unlock everything whenever they want. Some players might disagree with that sentiment, but I totally see where he's coming from. Alright guys, that does it for this Helldivers Helldivers update. If you enjoyed this video and feel more informed, please smash the like button for us. It helps us out more than you know. If you're new here and like what you see, please consider hitting subscribe and the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future Helldivers 2 updates. And comment whatever your thoughts are about anything in today's video, or really anything at all, as long as you're nice, in the comments section down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.